Hey guys, it's Allie. Welcome to VirtuAlly, where I share with you what I discovered this week in the world of virtual reality. In our first piece of news, guess who's hopping aboard the VR train? NASA. Astronauts. Yeah. Actually, NASA already kind of had a virtual reality laboratory, so... But NASA, or a division of NASA called the National Space Biomedical Research Institute, recently gave $1.6 million to the Digital Arts Leadership and Innovation Lab at Dartmouth College so that they could create virtual environments and digital therapists to help astronauts de-stress in deep space. Aww. This initiative, called the Virtual Space Station, is actually something that Dartmouth's Dolly Lab, along with several other groups, has been working on since 2001. Lori Loeb, a Dartmouth research professor, said the team was working on multi-sensory experiences that included sound and smell to, quote, trick the brain and make people feel as if they're in a variety of beautiful and calm settings, such as with their family at home or strolling on the beach. To create that effect, a program could include videos of an astronaut's family, images of a beach with the sounds of waves, the smell of suntan lotion. Can I have that? So even though this is something that's been in the works for quite some time, it's relevant right now because A, we can actually, do virtual reality now, and B, the Virtual Space Station has just been taken on its first mission to space. Sort of. It's going to fake space. On October 15th, a team of 6 members headed to Hawaii to spend 8 months in a simulated Mars habitat. The mission is called HI-SEAS, or Hawaii Space Exploration Analog and Simulation. NASA, why you got so many acronyms? The Virtual Space Station system will be tested on the participating HI-SEAS team members. In addition to the relaxing virtual environments, the program also offers a 6-session, self-administered depression treatment program led by a Dartmouth professor and psychologist, Mark Hegel. Hegel? I'm gonna call you Mark. Dr. Mark. Way to be awesome, NASA, with your VR and your dedication to mental health. Our next piece of news is maybe not so much news as much as a really cool story. A Brazilian woman named Ana Ribeiro has recently created an awesome VR game called PixelRift. The game is a nostalgic journey through video game history, experienced from the perspective of a young girl growing up gaming, much the same as Ana herself. Now the game looks awesome, but what I found the most interesting is Ana's story. She grew up loving video games, and as a teenager she even played competitive Counter-Strike with an all-girl gaming team. Later on, she found herself working in a government job she didn't like, and she felt like she needed a creative outlet, so she began making and selling empadas on the side. Now that business exploded to the point where she was making 4,000 empadas every month and had to hire several people to help her out. But it was during a business planning course that she realized that she just still wasn't fulfilled. So she sold her car, left behind her empada empire, and enrolled in a 1-year programming course in London with absolutely no coding experience whatsoever. Now all of that was 4 years ago. Today, Anna's finishing up her master's degree in game design at the National Film and Television School, and PixelRift is her final year project. PixelRift is currently awaiting Steam greenlight approval, and Anna hopes to bring it to market next year. It'll be released in 5 episodes, all of which will be about 1 hour in length. And now for our final piece of news, we're gonna talk about Magic Leap. Now you've either never heard of Magic Leap and have no idea what it is, or you've heard of Magic Leap and have no idea what it is. But they just got $542 million from Google and several other big investors, including Legendary Entertainment. Now stealth mode is fully engaged at Magic Leap, but here's what we do know and why it's relevant. 1. Magic Leap is working on some kind of augmented reality-ish. They're actually calling it cinematic reality. Oh, you fancy, huh? 2, they're using dynamic digitized light field technology to build whatever the hell it is that they're building. 3, it's some kind of wearable computing interface which Roni Abovitz, the CEO of Magic Leap, said he believes will be the most natural and human-friendly in the world. And 4, everyone who has seen it apparently thinks it's super awesome. Thomas Tull, the CEO of Legendary Entertainment, told FastCompany.com, "It's so badass you can't believe it. It's one of the few things I've ever experienced in my life where I came out and said, this changes everything. This is a marker of the future." Now, one of the things that I find the most interesting about this is the discussions that it's inspired, especially the polarization that it's created over virtual reality versus augmented reality. Even Magic Leap themselves seem to really want to distance themselves from VR, claiming that their product will go far and above what companies like Oculus could offer. But from the sound of it, they're not really even doing VR, so can there truly be a comparison? And even if there can, I've never understood why it has to be either virtual reality or augmented reality. Sometimes I might just want to lie in my bed and stare up at a sky full of dragons where my ceiling used to be. For that, I could use a product like Magic Leap or LSD. And other times I'm going to want to be completely transported out of this reality, which is where VR comes in. I'm going to want to use both AR and VR, much the same as I want to use both a computer and a smartphone. All of this debate and everything really just tells me me that the developers, the enthusiasts, the early adopters are all in the perfect place at the perfect time. And shit's about to get awesome. That was kind of inspirational. So guys, today's interview is continuing our VR Maker series, which I told you about last week. It focuses on people in the world of VR who are creating accessible tools that allow anyone to create for VR. So I got to talk with Anthony Mattana, the founder of Hooke Audio, which is a startup company that's creating headphones that can record 3D audio to your smartphone wirelessly. Check it out. So I'm here with Anthony Mattana, the founder of the binaural audio company Hooke Audio. Hi, Anthony.
Hey, how's it going?
Great, thank you so much for joining us today. So can you tell us, what is Hooke Audio?
First and foremost, Hooke are a pair of Bluetooth wireless headphones. So they're going to connect with your smartphone or any other sort of Bluetooth-enabled device. But what they also do, in addition to being headphones, is they enable you to record binaural audio. If you notice, right here in the earbuds that sit inside of the ears are two microphones. They enable a stereo recording so that when the user is listening to music, using them as regular headphones, can engage the mics by simply opening up the camera app or opening up any sort of camera feature via a smartphone. Basically, because they're paired with your smartphone is looking to Hooke as an external microphone. So seamlessly, all video you capture is going to be paired with this binaural 3D audio.
So Anthony, why did you create Hooke Audio?
For the last 5 years, I've worked as a sound designer for live theater. The interesting thing I found about theater sound was how immersive it was, how the sound could change depending on where you're sitting, or sometimes my designs would move to other theaters. It's something that you have to be there for. So I wanted to find a way to capture my work in the way it was originally made for, so that someone outside of the theater could hear that immersive sound.
Hooke was not initially designed with VR in mind, is that correct?
Yeah, like I said, it mainly came from my experience in theater, it came from my interest in sharing sound better, and once I understood what I was doing was basically, capturing 3D audio, what I was doing was allowing presence to the listeners. I was allowing listeners to feel like they're there, and that's something that the VR community is very excited about, is that presence. So everything that a lot of visual VR companies are doing to make you feel like you're there, we realized quickly that Hooke was doing the same thing with audio. And that's when the VR community sort of reached out to us and realized that, what we're already sort of doing can easily go that way.
So on that note, what do you see Hooke Audio's role being in virtual reality?
I mean, the VR community, it's all about creating environments that allows a viewer that isn't in that environment to feel like they're there. By allowing this device to take someone's ears and put them on yours and hear what they hear, that's about as VR as you can sort of get in the audio world. So I think it's about presence. I think it's about allowing your audience to feel like they're there with audio, and a Hooke is essentially the GoPro of audio. So now, many people also might be thinking they're Bluetooth. Well, Hooke also has a female jack for a stereo 1/8" cable, and the GoPro has a female 1/8" jack in. So you would actually be able to do a wired 3D audio recording with something like a GoPro because it doesn't have Bluetooth ability.
Now, all the devices that we use on a daily basis do experience a certain amount of lag or latency, and you mentioned that Hooke utilizes a state-of-the-art Bluetooth chip that greatly reduces that latencycy see. So what can you tell us about that?
The Bluetooth chip, the syncing, the quality was our utmost priority. Pro audio codecs that are using wireless transmission are transmitting at a latency a of around 150 milliseconds. We're looking at a wireless latency of around 32 milliseconds.
That's huge, wow.
Yeah, it's a huge priority.
Now, Hooke, from what I understand, records binaural 3D audio, but it's fixed from the perspective of the person who records it, so you don't have that head tracking compatibility. So with that in mind, what is the practical application of Hooke in virtual reality right now?
A lot of people only are seeing VR and Oculus as this sort of head tracking feature. Like all it's doing and all it will only do is enable this head tracking, which it should. But there's also a huge community, and there's a lot of people talking, not only predicting, but anticipating and wanting a sort of passive VR experience. Hooke will be the product to enable that sort of passive timeline creation for someone to sit there and watch. And the way we've developed this technology and the way that they are created, we don't see why there's any reason why that head tracking functionality isn't something that we can incorporate in updates and inversions down the line.
Now, this is the question that I like to ask everybody who comes on the show. If you could have one dream VR experience come to life, what would you experience in a VR setting?
I really like football, and the NFL is making steps towards 3D camera technology, like at the sidelines or even through specific operators to capture games in 3D with video. Imagine if you could go between 8 or 10 different football stadiums in an hour. You could be a part of it from your couch in Louisiana, and I think that would be awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Anthony, for joining us here on the show. I'm really looking forward to seeing the progress of Hooke Audio, and hopefully the next time we talk, version 2 will be ready for me to check out.
Definitely. Thank you.
Hooke Audio has actually now been fully funded on Kickstarter and then some, so congratulations to the whole team at Hooke Audio, and many thanks again to Anthony. So for today's cool VR demo, we're going to bring it down a couple notches with Zach on his channel VR Forum as he demos Guided Meditation, a VR relaxation experience by Cubicle Ninjas.
Only you and me.
Look at the light coming through there.
Now,
Light shafts, that's so awesome.
let's start with something simple, like breathing.
Cozy. The last time I asked you guys what games you love that you'd like to be able to play in VR. Cage Wazoo said, I want a Harry Potter and or Pokemon game. My man. Harris Burdick said, I kinda need Kingdom Hearts in VR. Mortal Kombat would be awesome as well. Mortal Kombat VR, otherwise known as PTSD Simulator. That's actually a really interesting idea. What would it be like in VR to experience that level of violence? To have your head just forcibly removed from your body, your whole spinal cord like ripped out of you by Sub-Zero. And Biological Clock said, I would want to explore the Mass Effect universe in VR. Well, Biological Clock, it's interesting you should say that. So my question for you today is, what do you think about the virtual reality versus augmented reality debate? Do you lean one way? Do you think it's a pointless debate altogether? Let me know in the comments below or tweet me your answers at PixelWhipped. Well guys, thank you so much for tuning into another episode of VirtuAlly. My name's Allie, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
You're gonna love this one, guys. See what I'm saying? Look at this. Look at this. Look at those birds. Those are the best looking birds I've ever seen.